you guys. So today I was thinking about my debt and I'm thinking about why am I still in debt? And not just being in debt, but just why is my financial situation so horrible? Because I've had ample opportunity throughout my long life to fix my finances and to get in a better position, and I have. Sorry, there's something on my lip and I don't know what it is. You guys, I'm so sorry. I'm a mess. But anyway, I've had opportunities to get in a better financial situation, and I have. But every single time I improve, I always revert right back into whatever mess I came from, and this time is no different. Well, hopefully at the end of my cash stuffing and whatnot, it will be different. But throughout my life, it's like I've always gotten myself out of the hole and then right back in it immediately. Half the time I would think, oh, it's just bad luck, and I was kind of slipping into that Tuesday. I don't know if you guys watched my short where my car broke down, and I was saying oh my gosh, I was just starting to build my emergency fund. I just had couple $100 in there, and boom, my car breaks down and it's costing me $300. Every time I start having a little cushion, something happens to deplete said cushion. I can never get ahead. That's my mind space. It's oh, I'm never going to win. Every single time I start getting in a position to win, it's one step forward, 5 steps back. But, when I think about my finances, I'm there's tons of things that I've been doing wrong. And a big thing that I've been doing wrong is not tracking my spending and not putting a budget in place and strictly sticking to said budget. But another big problem for me, which I think is a problem for other people, is the buy now, pay later trap. And so I decided, hey, why don't I talk about that? Why don't I talk about falling into buy now, pay later trap? Because so many people are in that trap. And if you are using buy now, pay later, you probably are broke. And if you're not broke, you probably will be broke. So how did that happen to me? I remember the very first time ever learning about buy now, pay later was probably 10, maybe even more years ago. I was at a furniture store and I was looking to buy a couch or love seat or something. I don't even remember what I was looking to buy, but I remember the guy comes out and he's like, oh, can I help you, ma'am, or whatever? And I said, yeah, I'm looking at this. And I remember I had my kids with me and they were little at the time and they were bouncing around and they're like, oh, I really love this couch or whatever, mom, oh my gosh. And I'm saying, oh, that one's a little bit out of our budget. We can't afford that one. And the guy says, oh, you don't have to pay for it right away. We have, we're partnered with Affirm. And you can go home with the couch that you want today, and you can split your payments up over, 3 to 6 months. And I was like, oh, wow. I'd never heard of that, because up till that point, for me, to buy a couch, you either paid with your, cash, credit card, or store credit. I didn't know about Affirm, never heard of it before. I was like, wow. And I said, well, even then, this is 10 plus years ago, I didn't have good credit. I said, well, my credit's not the best. And he's like, oh, this is a very forgiving program. Why don't you put your information here and let's just see? And so I plugged my information in and he was like, you're approved. And I was like, oh yes, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Oh, we can get the couch. So we got whatever the furniture was, and we paid it off, and everything was fine. And I didn't think about Affirm again until it was maybe 5 years or so went by. I think maybe 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years. I don't know. I was on Amazon and I wanted to buy a computer, and it was a computer for $300 or something like that. And I wasn't looking for it. Again, it found me. I wasn't looking for it. It found me. I was going to buy this computer, okay? And a little thing showed up on the bottom of the page, and it said, pay, you could pay later, or split payment, something like that, to that effect. And clicked on the button. I said, oh, and it said affirm. And it didn't even click. Like, I didn't remember the name from the furniture store. Like, it didn't click to me that it was the same company. I don't know. But I clicked on it, and it just asked, like, oh, put your phone number in. I boop, 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 put my phone number in, and then, oh, congratulations, you're approved. And I said, oh, golly gee, instead of spending my $300 on this computer, I don't have to pay a dime till next month. I can split the payment and keep the $300 in my pocket. I was so excited, so happy. The computer shows up, everything's fine, and they're taking like $50 a month or something from my paycheck. I didn't even notice. Everything was a breeze. And I didn't think about it at all again until I decided to go on vacation. Like, we were going to, I think, to Myrtle Beach or something, and I went to Priceline to find a hotel on the beach. And again, I wasn't even looking for affirm. When I went to pay for the hotel, that option was just there, and the hotel was very cheap, like maybe $400 for all of us. It was like me, my mom, my brothers, like a whole family thing. And it was like $400, and the buy now, pay later thing was there. And I said, oh, at this point, I knew what it was. I clicked so fast, and sure enough, it said approved. And I said, oh my gosh. So now, instead of spending $400 on a hotel, I have $400 extra to spend on vacation. Like, girl math, this is awesome. And then after that, I knew what affirm was. And so, like, when I was planning to like fly somewhere, I would use affirm to pay for flight for tickets or whatever. So at this time, I didn't have the app yet, but then I ended up downloading the app, and then boom, like it just exploded. All of a sudden, oh, you can use affirm for Walmart, you can use affirm for this, that, da, da, da. I never got the card, because I think affirm even has a card that you can use to like pay for things at a store and break it up into payments. But there was a point where I had like 5 or 6 different affirm like things that affirm was charging me for, like $50 here. Sometimes in 1 week it would be like $50 coming out on the 3rd, $27 coming out on the 6th, $31 coming out on the 12th, $40. Like, I had so many of these things going, and back then I didn't monitor my credit. I didn't know that affirm, each time you use affirm, they report it to the credit bureau. So when you look at my credit report, there's like 1,000 affirms. Like, you know how bad that looks? Like, if you're somebody, like if you're applying for a home or whatever, they probably are thinking, do we trust this woman that's been like using affirm as like her bank account? Like, you know what I mean? Oh, it looks so bad. I didn't know. I didn't even know it was going to the credit bureau. I thought, and I didn't even know they were charging interest. I thought it was just breaking up the payment. And I don't think they charge interest if you paid off in 3 months. I think it's only if you charge for more than 3 months. I don't know. But okay, so I had affirm. And then I started doing Klarna. And that was new. I'd never heard of Klarna until about 2 years ago. And somebody said, oh, like, which is horrible. This is going to make it even worse. I saw somewhere online, this lady was complaining about how she used Klarna for DoorDash, and she was in so much debt just from using Klarna for like paying for clothes, paying for DoorDash and things like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, you can use Klarna for DoorDash? And sure enough, that option was there, and I clicked it. And next thing you know, I'm using Klarna for DoorDash. Guys, it was a trap. It's a trap. It is a trap. And I had all these Klarnas going on, all the affirms going on, Klarnas. It was a mess. And the thing is like the payments are so small, you don't really notice it right away. Like, if you're buying something that's $100 and they're charging you $12 a month, you're not going to notice $12 a month, right? And that's how they get you, because all of a sudden they're taking money out of your account 2 or 3 times a week. Like, it got to a point where, at the end of the month, when I, add it all up, it was over $200 and something I was spending on just Affirm. Another $50 something I was spending on Klarna. And luckily, like, I did pay all that off. Like, I recognized it and I was like, oh, no. This has to stop. But it wasn't till, like, I had to look at it in its entirety. But that's how it gets you, because it's a small payment. And I'm not saying these are bad services. And I'm not somebody who's going to be, out in the streets protesting and demanding that these things get removed or taken off of, offline. I think that they might be a good resource for people, but you have to have, they have to be used responsibly. You can't just put everything on. And the thing that made it so bad is I was using Affirm even when I had the cash in hand. Like when I went to buy that computer, I didn't even know that it was an option. I had the money to buy the computer outright, but because it was an option, my brain was like, oh, instead of pulling $400 or whatever from my account to buy a computer, I can leave the $400 in my account, use Affirm, and they're going to charge me $50 a month. Like, it just sounded, easier to swallow versus paying the amount. So that's what makes it even worse is I wasn't using Affirm because I didn't have the money in the account. I was using Affirm because it just felt easier. Like, like when I went on vacation, like, oh, instead of spending $400 on a hotel, my account is going to be down $400. Why don't I put it on Affirm? I don't have to pay anything at all today, and they're just going to charge me $60 a month going forward. Okay, like, your brain just thinks like, okay, now I have $400 to spend, on vacation, and that's what happens, and that's how you get trapped, because you spend that $400 on vacation, and now you're in a hole. Like, you have to pay. Like, that's just what kept happening over and over again. I would go to buy something. I have the money to buy what I want, but breaking it up into little pieces just seems so attractive. That's the catch, you guys. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Again, I'm not. I think Affirm, Klarna, these are good options for people if you use them appropriately. Like, maybe you need to break something up half and half. Like, something happens, you're like, okay, I'm in a rut, I don't get paid till next week, I'm going to use Klarna, and I'll pay half of it from this paycheck, half from next paycheck, and shut it down. That might be okay, because again, I don't know that they even charge interest if you do it that way. So there is a way to use it reliably, and I'm not saying not to use it, but just be careful. Just be careful. Don't be like me. I mean, I was excited to see, like, oh my gosh, I got to do this and still have money. So yeah. Oh, another thing that I did, which, oh my, I'm so ashamed to say this. Like, it's so embarrassing, was money lion. I was sitting, I think it was on my phone. I was watching a YouTube video, and then a money lion, commercial came up, and it was for, like, they lend you small amounts of money, like $50, $100 if you're short. So I was like, how, that sounds so amazing. And I clicked on it. I didn't even need the money at the moment. It's just like, I don't know what's like an addictive personality or something. I clicked on it, downloaded the app, because they were also offering like something, if you download the app, you get, I don't know what it was. I download the app, put my information in to see if I would be approved for some money, and it's small amounts. Like, they give you, I don't know if it's like up to 500, something like that. And boom, I was approved. And I think it was like $750 or 700. I don't know. I was approved, and I didn't use MoneyLion. Like, I was approved, the money was there, and it sat in my phone forever. And then one day, I don't know what happened, like I had something came up, and I did not have a lot of money. I was in between paychecks, and then I was thinking, like, man, I'm really short money, and it just occurred to me, oh, I have that app on my phone, MoneyLion. I downloaded it, clicked the button, and boom, they send the money, but they send it in $100 increments. So I think it was like $500, something like that. But anyway, you can only transfer, and it's instant transfer, $100 at a time, and each time you transfer $100, they add a $10 fee. So if you transfer $500, you have to pay a $50 fee. And for whatever was going on in my life, I was like, oh, that's reasonable, that's fine, I'll just pay it and be done. But it also can become a trap, because if you cannot survive your next paycheck, minus whatever you withdrew from MoneyLion, you're going to end up taking out another loan. And that's what happened to me. I took out the max, which let's say it was $500. So my next pay period, they withdrew $550. So my paycheck was now short $550. And I was like, oh man, I need that $550. I don't have money just floating around like that. So I went back to MoneyLion and I tried to be smart. I said, okay, this time I'm just going to take out $300. And that's what I did. And I eventually paid it off that way. The next pay period, I took out $300. And when I got paid again, they charged me $330. And then on that pay period, I took out, I don't know if it was $200 or $100, whatever it was. And then the next pay, but literally, so that's 3 months to pay it off. And if it's an interest, I paid over $100 in interest to borrow that $500, doing it the way I did. It's a trap, guys. And again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If you're in a pinch, these things can work for you, right? If you need money right away, MoneyLion was very easy. You just put your information in there, you're approved in minutes. The money is directly in your account in seconds. You hit that, if you need $100 quick, click that button, the money is in your account literally in seconds. That's awesome if you're in a bind, but then you just have to know on the back end, it can bite you in the rear. So yeah, guys, sorry, this is a long video to complain about why I'm broke, but it's just when I start thinking about the stupid things I did in my life, this is why I'm broke. But I'm reversing it, guys. I see what I did wrong, and I'm telling you guys so that you don't fall into the same traps. So you listen to your Auntie Ness now and don't do what I did if you don't want to be broke like me. Because this is why your girl is broke. All right, guys, thank you for listening. If you have any input, tell me about why you're broke and if you've tried any of the traps that I fell into, and how did you get out of it? Thank you, guys. I love you. Please please subscribe, please comment, do all the things. See ya. Bye.